Have you ever felt like you're just stuck in that endless cycle of dieting? Counting every single calorie only to wind up right back where you started, feeling totally frustrated? Well, today, we're going to talk about something that might just be the key to breaking free. We're exploring this powerful idea called eating for satiety. Let's dive in and figure out what that really means.
So, right off the bat, let's just challenge a huge belief that most of us have been taught our whole lives. We've always heard a calorie is a calorie, right? But is that really true? This one simple question, you guys, is the key to unlocking a completely different way of thinking about our food and our health.
Think about it like this. On one side, you have the old way, calorie counting. It's this whole mindset of restriction, of numbers. And honestly, it feels like you're constantly fighting your own body. But on the other side, we have this satiety focus. And this is all about listening to your body, focusing on the quality of your food, and working with your biology to feel full and satisfied. It's a total game changer.
So, let's break it down. Where does that old calories in, calories out model actually fall apart?
Here is the perfect example, and it makes so much sense when you think about it. Imagine you eat 100 calories of candy. You know that feeling, right? You're probably going to be hungry again in, 30 minutes? But 100 calories of something like chicken or eggs, that's going to affect your hunger, your fullness, and even your metabolism in a completely different way. So no, the source of the calorie matters a lot.
And this quote just sums it all up perfectly. The whole goal here isn't to trick your body or to starve it into submission. It's about understanding what it's telling you and giving it the actual nourishment it needs to feel content. It's a partnership, not a battle. But, this isn't just about why individual diets don't work. This whole thing ties into a much, much bigger problem. Let's take a look at the real health crisis we're up against. Okay, just look at this number, 93%. Seriously. Let that sink in for a second. According to the research we're looking at today, that's the percentage of adults in the U.S. who have some level of metabolic dysfunction. That is a staggering number, and it tells us this isn't some personal failure, it's a systemic problem. So the big question is, why? Why is that number so high? Well, a huge part of the problem is our modern food environment. It is flooded with ultra-processed foods that are literally scientifically engineered to be irresistible. They're called hyperpalatable. They're designed to make you want more and more by completely overriding those natural signals that are supposed to tell your brain, hey, we're full. And this is where satiety comes into the picture. It's not just another fad. It's a really powerful and, more importantly, sustainable solution to this very modern crisis. So what exactly is satiety? Simply put, it's that feeling of being perfectly full and content after a meal. The kind of meal that keeps you feeling satisfied for hours and you're not even thinking about snacking. That's satiety. And that right there is what makes this a lifestyle, not a diet. It's sustainable because you're not depriving yourself. It's flexible, so you can make it work for you. And best of all, it gets to the root causes of the problem because it's designed to work with your body's biology, not against it. Okay, so we've covered the what's and the why. Now let's get to the really good stuff, the practical part. How do you actually start eating for satiety? The science behind this is actually pretty simple. It really boils down to three key things. First up is protein. It is by far the most filling macronutrient. Then you have fiber, which is amazing because it slows down digestion and keeps your blood sugar from spiking and crashing. And finally, there's energy density. That just means choosing foods that let you eat bigger, more satisfying portions for fewer calories. So, what does this actually look like when you're at the grocery store or planning a meal? Well, it means you're building your meals around foods like these. Things like lean proteins, veggies packed with fiber like broccoli and spinach, legumes, and even foods with lots of water like soups or watermelon that help fill you up. All right, here are 5 super practical tips you can literally start using today. 1. Build every meal around protein and fiber. 2. Eat mindfully. Slow down and actually listen to your body. 3. Stay hydrated. Sometimes when you think you're hungry, you're actually just thirsty. 4. Snack smarter. Swap the chips for a handful of nuts or some yogurt. And 5. Just be aware of those empty calories in things like sugary sodas that do absolutely nothing to make you feel full. And when it's all said and done, this is about so much more than a number on a scale. Yes, weight management can definitely be a benefit, but the real win here is completely transforming your relationship with food.
moving from a place of conflict and guilt to one of nourishment and, dare I say, enjoyment. The results of making the shift are just huge. When you focus on satiety, you unlock all these other incredible benefits. We're talking about finally getting freedom from those nagging cravings, having more stable energy throughout the day, and just developing a way more positive mindset around eating in general. So we want to leave you with this one final thought to chew on. For so long, many of us have been taught to feel guilty or like we failed when we feel full after eating. But what if we just flipped that entire script? What if feeling full, truly, deeply and satisfyingly full, was actually the whole point? That simple question, right there, changes everything. And that is the power of eating for satiety.